Hi, welcome to Lion and Lamb Ministry, the spiritual warfare and healing ministry. God wanted me to talk about today the topic of being happy in a relationship. That it's so easy for us to let the other person control our emotions when we are making them an idol. And when does this happen? This happens when you both aren't putting God first. Okay, and that's it. That is the solution to, being unhappy in a relationship. It's putting God first. I guarantee that if you put God first in a relationship before each other, that you can't help but be happy, because happiness comes from God, and that's God's will for you, is to be happy in a relationship, to enjoy companionship. But now with everything that I'm seeing, or the things that are happening, the Jezebel spirit and things like that, that spirit is, and men cannot be inhabited by this spirit too. It's a spirit of manipulation and control. Okay, so a lot of times in a relationship, and I can speak of this because I used to be like this too. And I'm probably most likely presently still working on it. But when you're in a relationship, either the man or the woman can try to make the other one feel depressed or sad as a form of control, like where they're not good enough, so that in hopes that they won't find someone else. And this is a very common thing that I see in a lot of relationships. And, it causes both parties to be in a state of like depression or sadness. And I don't know why God brought this to my mind and compelled me to make this video. I'm like, yeah, I kind of was resistant to it, but I'm gonna be obedient. So, and the reason is that both of you need to put God first. Okay, God needs to be first, because what happens is, and I was totally guilty of this, like when you put the other person first, you literally give them the authority to control your emotions and your mind. And like everything they do will start to affect you, and they love that. Like that's what the Jezebel spirit wants. The Jezebel spirit wants control, and most of the time it's through manipulation. And I used to be like this too. I used to say terrible things to my exes, just to, and it's also in anger. But when it's like continual, it's a control thing. When it's continual. So your defense against this, let's get to the solution. So the solution is, your defense against this is to focus on God. Okay? Only you can determine whether you're going to stay in the relationship or not. That's based on many factors. Obviously, I do not know everyone's situation. Only you can determine that. And I suggest you talk to God about it and pray on it a lot. But the solution is to focus on God and to not let that spirit, knowing that spirit is on your significant other, not letting that spirit manipulate or control your emotions by, one, most importantly, focusing on God, two, praying and asking Him how to deal with situations. And He'll answer you in many ways. If it's not like an audible answer, He doesn't give you the solution right away, I guarantee you He will. And like either through your children saying, you'd be amazed how He does it. Like your everyday, He'll just show you. So praying and asking God for the solutions, and focusing on Him, and just focusing on like not making the other, not idol worship is a sin in anything. Like whatever we make an idol besides God, whether it be our spouse, whether it be money, it's a sin. Like we're supposed to put God first, no matter what, in every situation. Like God is always first. That was my mistake too with BB. Like I know I put him before God. Like I love God, like eternally, don't get me wrong. Like deeply, I love God very much, but I loved my bunny, maybe more, and maybe that's why He allowed him to be taken. I don't know. There's only God knows. His ways are so much higher than our ways. But the way to stay happy in a relationship when the Jezebel spirit is, on the other person is to maybe one, you can both read and educate yourself about it. And if you expose the spirit, that's always helpful, right? Because the way we defeat evil is by exposing it. So you could learn about it and expose it and see what the strategies of the spirit is, and then to keep yourself happy to not make the other person an idol so much so that they control your emotions, because there's a lot like people do, especially with social media now, like subliminal things that we're always looking at and over analyzing. But what if you were to just create your own positive reality within your mind? Like, don't interpret things the way that either they want you to, or maybe your mind is just going there, but focus on God and focus on Jesus, just focus on the kingdom of heaven and do things that make you happy. If you like sports, like go and play those sports. If you're in a fight, like go on a walk. Just do things that will diffuse the situation and that make you happy. Focus on your kids, like take them to the park or just take them to the beach. Anything that you like, just don't make the other person an idol, because then you're giving them the full control of your mind, which is connected to your emotions, and then that's your life, right? So God wanted me to bring this to your attention, and I don't have an explanation why, but so I'm guessing this is going to help someone or a lot of people. So the way to stay happy in a relationship with that happening is to, 1, focus on God, 2, pray and ask Him for the solutions, and 3, do things that make you happy. Okay, that's in a nutshell. No pun intended. Okay, so yes, hopefully I think this is gonna help a lot of people. That's why He wanted me to talk about it. But yeah, God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit love you. Remember to love yourself, love others, continue loving your spouse and your kids, especially love your pets, and I'll see you in the next video.